living in my head and start living instead. What's up, you guys? I'm coming to you live from Colorado. I escaped here with my family. We've had a place here since I was like 2 years old. I learned to ski here. I was in daycare here. I did summer camp here. It's just such a lovely, lovely, magical place filled with amazing hikes and beautiful mountains and double rainbows. You should go see the double rainbow that I posted on my Instagram the other day. It's just, what an amazing place. God's amazing creation here in Colorado. Anyway, today I'm bringing you a sum up of all of my favorite moments from season 1. I'll replay some of my favorite moments and unpack them a little bit more and let you guys in on what I've been thinking about since I've recorded these podcasts. Something that started as a bored quarantine hobby has turned into something that I've truly enjoyed and loved getting the opportunity to do. So much so that we are bringing you guys a season 2. I have so many amazing guests that I am working on for you guys, and I cannot wait. I can't wait. So yeah, without further ado, actually, before we get into it, if you haven't left a review, please, please, please leave a review of this podcast, because the more reviews that we get and the more stars we get, the more we get seen by more podcasting people, and the more that I can get some sponsors and actually start getting paid for what I'm doing, because, each podcast takes probably something around 10 to 12 hours to edit. Yeah, it's a lot of time, but I'm getting better at it. And I edit every single one of them. So if you can please go leave a review, that would be amazing. What else? Oh, I almost forgot. I have a brand new song coming out on Friday, July 17th. It's called Nothing Changes. And if you listen to the whole podcast, maybe I'll drop a little preview of the song, Also, videos coming out too. And I'm so excited because some of you guys who are listening are going to be in it. Okay. Now let's jump into my favorite moments. This first moment comes from the very first podcast that I debuted with the amazing Barb Schmidt, also known as Peaceful Barb. So many of my fans and so many just people I have these conversations with, and it's like, I just feel like I'm not in control of my anxiety. I feel like I'm just not in control of my thoughts. I can't, it's just something that happens to me. And I don't know, it's like there's these steps that you can take and these tools, and that's what therapy really helped me do.
Here's the key to it. I'm so glad we're talking about this, because I am massively passionate about this. Here's the key to it is to understand, first of all, that you're normal. Mm-hmm. The purpose of the mind, the nature of the mind is to think. And so they've done so much research and so many studies that we think over 60,000 thoughts a day. More than half of them are negative. And of the 85% of the negative thoughts are repetitive thoughts that we've already thought. So it is no wonder we are always going down the rabbit hole in the mind. So it is really important for you to understand, for everyone on the planet to understand, that this is normal. We all have this. And if we can really get that it's just the mind thinking, but we are the boss of what thoughts we're going to allow to occupy the space in the mind.
I love that moment between me and Barb, and especially when she says that we are the boss of our thoughts. And it seems like such a simple statement, but oh my gosh, it is sometimes so hard to let go of negative thoughts. I mean, the other day I was scrolling through Instagram and I all of a sudden felt this anger bubble up in me. And I was like, this is really weird. I kind of took a hold of that emotion and I was like, I don't know where this is coming from, but I was scrolling on Instagram. And typically sometimes when I scroll on Instagram for too long, I start to compare myself. And I think the thoughts crept in something like, I'm never going to be good enough. I'm never going to be talented enough. I'm never going to be as great of a songwriter as this person, blah, blah, blah. And I intercepted those thoughts and I was like, wait a minute, these do not belong in my brain. Why are these here? I don't like these thoughts. So I actually went on a walk and I unpacked it for myself and I was like, what is really going on here? So I don't know. It's the practice of when these thoughts pop up for me that are negative, I'm not my thoughts. My thoughts are just passing. And I think this excerpt from Eckhart Tolle's book It's called The Power of Now. It's incredible. Everybody should go read it. It's very dense. I've only made it through like 20 pages and it's taken me like a week. The chapter is called You Are Not Your Mind. The question is, isn't thinking essential in order to survive in this world? Your mind is an instrument, a tool. It is there to be used for a specific task, and when that task is completed, you lay it down. As it is, I would say about 80 to 90% of most people's thinking is not only repetitive and useless, but because of its dysfunctional and often negative nature, much of it is harmful. Observe your mind, and you will find this to be true. It causes a serious leakage of vital energy. Ugh, so good. For me personally, I've just really been trying to capture my thoughts when they start to become negative. We all have them. If there's one thing I've figured out from interviewing tons of people, we all have these thoughts. We all have negative thoughts, but we also have the power to not believe those thoughts. That's been a huge realization for me and something that has really, really helped me stay in the moment, be in the moment, and not get down about things as much. This next part comes from the amazing Mickey Guyton. I was so fortunate to be able to do not only one, but 2 episodes with her. But this next part is from the very first episode I did with her, Don't Run from the Things That Make You, You.
I was laying in bed thinking about it, and I was like, well, what makes me different? What can I sing about? That is my truth. Okay, well, I'm a Black woman. I'm in a space in country music, and I need to start singing about that. So I literally started just writing about my journey as a Black woman, because country music is 3 chords in the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my truth is that.
Yep.
And that's what I had to pull from, and that's what I had to write about. And girl, let me tell you, it was the most freeing thing I have ever done. I wrote a song called Black Like Me. I wrote a song called I Love My Hair. I wrote a song called Words. I just started writing all of these songs that are true to me.
What I love most and learned most from Mickey is she's just so unapologetically sound in herself and her message and what her purpose is. And I resonate so much with what she's been through. Obviously, I have my own journey where I was not being my authentic self for a really long time. And I was grasping at straws to please everybody around me and my teammates and my team members and my producers, and trying to keep up, that phrase, keep up with the Joneses of the songs that were super hot on the radio at the time, and the beats and the sounds. And I should have just been focusing on me and what makes me different. There's that famous quote, be yourself because everybody else is taken. And it is so true. We all have very different and unique stories. We were all brought up a different way. We all had different sets of parents or caretakers. We all have different traumas. We all have different wounds. We all have different groups of friends. We all have different skin tones and different genders and different things we believe to get us through the day. And instead of being angry at the fact that we're all different, why don't we celebrate our differences a lot more? It's a question that seems pretty simple. Like, yeah, of course we should celebrate our differences. But for me personally, I somehow got to a place where I didn't think my differences mattered. But they do matter. And when I started leaning into my authentic story, that's when my music started to resonate with more people. And I felt better when I looked in the mirror, because I was proud of what I was putting out, because it was real and it was authentic. And I didn't have that tiny little voice in the back of my mind saying, do you think this is really you? Do you think this is really good enough? But the way Mickey carries herself and leans into her authentic self is such an inspiration. This next favorite moment of mine is with my vocal coach, Chanel Guyton. No relation to Mickey Guyton, but this episode is called Fighting for Your Voice. And boy, did I not only have to figure out my voice in my songwriting, but I literally had to retrain my voice to bring it back so I could sing. Yeah, it was a dark time. What do you think on the whole fear and mental block? Do you see that a lot in singers?
Oh, absolutely. And I love Brett Brett's method is based on the foundational idea that the voice is not just the voice, as in just the two bands of muscle tissue, but it is based off of TEMPS: technical, emotional, mental, physiological, and spiritual. All of those things contribute to what your voice is able to produce at that time. And so then you were, like we were saying, bound up and just full of fear, and so you weren't singing at your greatest potential. You couldn't until you worked through all these things, really. And the faith component, the mental component, the physical component of letting go, all of it.
I love this moment because Chanel was such a close confidant to me when I was going through a really, really rough time, trying to find my voice again, trying to retrain my voice. And I had so much fear. I mean, I had fear singing. I had fear doing the thing that I love the most. And it was such a weird time for me. There's actually a moment in the podcast where I completely break down crying because I just am so frustrated with the fear, and I'm so bound up with all of my bad mental scripts and my negative thoughts. And it's crazy how when you don't address what's going on in your thoughts, your body's going to catch up to you physically. It was the craziest thing. There were so many things that I had to unpack mentally before my body could really just take a breath and take a beat and unwind itself. So that was kind of the craziest thing that I went through, where it's like, your body and your mind are going to be in sync with whatever you're going through. So it's pretty crazy. But at least now I know the tools for when I do get bound up again, because, life's a journey. Things might happen again. I might start losing my voice again and fall back into my bad patterns as a singer. It could all happen again. But at least now I've got the tools, and that's what I'm most grateful for. We're going to take a short break, and I'm going to play you guys my new single coming out this Friday, July 17th, called Nothing Changes. Are you gonna love? Are you gonna run away? Take the easy out when it gets too hard to stay. Are you gonna try to see yourself? Or turn the light off, make the same mistake with somebody else? Easier said than done. Don't you think it's true? Well, nothing changes if nothing changes. Nothing new down that same old road. Got a chance and you gotta take it. Nothing changes if nothing changes. I hope you enjoyed that little preview. I'm so excited for this song and video to come out. And thank you to all my Live It Uppers who submitted their videos to be in the music video. It's going to be amazing. Also, if you haven't left a review, please go leave a review for this podcast. Appreciate it. Let's dive back into my favorite moments. This next moment comes from the amazing artist Drake White. Drake's perspective on life after going through a near-death experience is one that is so optimistic and so positive and so inspiring. This is from the episode, Hurt is the Healing.
And I've always had this thought that I was supposed to do something special. I don't know what.
I know what you mean. I have that as well.
There's something I'm supposed to do, something special. And music has always been that outlet for me.
There's so much good stuff in that podcast. I would recommend going to listen to it. But I chose this moment because as kids, especially I think our parents in this generation, I'm 28, we were all told that we were special, that we could achieve all of our dreams if we just put our minds to it. And while that's an amazingly fabulous thought, it's a little grandiose, and real world stuff sets in as you get older and you're like, oh, wait a minute. I had all of these plans and ideas for myself, and none of them are working out, and why have I lost myself, and what's going on? Speaking personally. But I have always felt this stirring in my heart that I was supposed to do something special. And maybe that special feeling is offering vulnerability to the world and offering something that may potentially change hearts. And I didn't think I realized that until recently. And I only realized that doing the work on myself and diving into what my purpose was and what I had to offer as an artist, as a human, as a person, as a daughter, as a friend, all of it. This next favorite moment of mine comes from an episode with Maggie Rose. It's called Going Your Own Way is the Only Way. I mean, day after day after day, trying to get people to understand who I am and what I'm about and what I want to sing. And there just being really, at the end of the day, no point in me doing that other than it was hurting me in my soul.
Right, absolutely. And then sometimes don't you feel that you see a pattern of instead refocusing your energy to attract those people who do appreciate all you have to offer, you're going back to those who are not satisfying us because we like want that validation. So we go back to the people who are sapping you dry of that energy.
Right.
Until you can't anymore. I mean, I'm so happy that that's like a discovery that you've made about yourself and that you've been even smart enough to ask those questions, because a lot of people wouldn't be able to identify that behavior happening.
Hello, my name is Olivia Lane, and I am a recovering people pleaser. Yes, I am. You know, part of me will always be a people pleaser because I am a performer and I like seeing people happy when they listen to my songs, and I like pleasing my fans, and I want them to, you know, fall in love with my music and find comfort in my story and my songs. But there's definitely an unhealthy way to be a people pleaser, and an unhealthy way where you seek validation from others, and those others may never ever give you the validation that you're seeking. And in therapy, I realized that I was so craving human connection desperately that I was just giving away my vulnerability to anyone who would listen. And no wonder I got burned and felt weird around people, because I was giving my vulnerability to people that I wasn't sure if I could trust with my heart. I mean, with my fans, for sure I can trust with my heart because you guys are amazing. But with other people, I needed to be a little more cautious. So I'm going to read something from Psychology Today because I feel like it really resonated. The importance of knowing yourself. When others' acceptance of you impacts how you make decisions about where to spend your time, you lose awareness of what's important to you, what drives you, and what makes you happy. You might feel stuck doing work you don't particularly enjoy and continue habits that are counterproductive. If this feels true for you, it's time to focus your energy on getting in touch with what really matters to you. Start asking yourself questions like, what do I value? What keeps me awake at night? How is it that I prefer to spend my time? Start to listen to what you really want for your life and align your actions with your values, principles, and goals. When you live in line with what you value, your life becomes much simpler and more effortless. Ain't that the truth? As soon as I stopped seeking validation from people that didn't deserve me seeking validation from them, oh my gosh, y'all, my life got so much more effortless and simple. So let's move on to the next moment. The last moment that I'm going to leave you guys with is a moment with my stylist, Katie Robbins, and this episode is called It's More Than Just Fashion. You have no idea how many people I have told about this. You explain it.
So it is just wearing the same color or similar colors head to toe. It makes putting an outfit together easy, and it makes you look long and lean. And it's not just all black, you know, it can be blue. I mean, you could do, people think, wearing white makes you look bigger. But if you're doing head to toe cream or head to toe white, that can actually be more flattering than wearing like a lighter shirt with a darker, you know, pant. So monotone or monochromatic dressing, similar colors and tones.
Y'all, when I discovered monochromatic dressing, I went out and bought all blue looks, all maroon looks, all cream looks, all black looks. Oh my gosh, it's so easy and literally head to toe. Like I have been on the hunt for like the perfect color maroon shoe for so long. Anyway, I hope you guys really benefited from that monochromatic dressing. I know a bunch of my friends have messaged me pictures of them dressing in all one color. And I'm telling you guys, it's so easy and it just makes you look long and lean and fabulous. Well, that's all I have for you guys for this podcast. I am so excited for my brand new song, Nothing Changes, to be coming out this Friday. So tune in, make sure you share it, go share the video. Make sure you tag me at Olivia Lane Music if you share it, because I want to see you guys listening to it. And yeah, leave a review for the podcast. I may or may not have one more episode coming out, but regardless, I will be taking a short break and prepping for season 2 for you guys. Yay! And as always, please stop living in your head and start living your life instead.